Welcome at the Growcast, the podcast of BlueCity and BlueCity Lab, in which we talk with 8 Rotterdam-based pioneering biodesigners, our so-called pioneers, about how a future will look like if we design with nature as our guideline. We started this podcast to celebrate the opening of BlueCity Lab, a biocircular playground for pioneers located in the heart of BlueCity.
We invited 4 frontrunners whose work will make us rethink everything we think we know, and 4 aspiring biodesigners who want to challenge the status quo. My name is Barbara Vos.
And I'm Emma van der Leest. In this podcast, we welcome Lisa Jongejans, founder of Studio Doodgewoon. She is fascinated by death and what happens to our bodies after we die, and especially what we leave behind. She designs mycelium burial urns and is currently undergoing a coaching program to start her own business. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to have you here in the studio. The first question we ask all our guests this week is, how were the last couple of months with you with the current crisis?
Crazy, I think. Lots of class I follow was online. And I figured at the moment my project is a bit on hold because parties do not have the time any longer to collaborate with me. Mm-hmm. So at the moment I'm working on a more designing my new collection. So I work on my new perspective of my own projects. And I hope I will re-collaborate with my partners again.
Can you tell us a little more about what it is exactly that you do?
I'm fascinated by the Dutch funeral system because it's now for over the last 50 years it didn't change much, and I think the funeral world needs an update. And I think that system, we have to break up that system and open it up and seeing our body not as a waste, because now we do that and we bury our bodies just in a casket in the ground, and it takes up a lot of space and it's not really sustainable way. And also by cremating, we will end up in an urn, and the most urns are made out of aluminium or metal structured material, and it's not sustainable, and then we be in the ground for 15 years.
Yeah, because I've looked something up just to bring in some perspective, because when we die here in the Netherlands, you can choose between or either be cremated or be buried. Yeah. And you also can give your body to science, but it's full. Apparently there are no more tickets left to give your body to science.
For 50 years. Yeah.
For 50 years?
What people don't know is that both burial and cremation are actually quite environmental unfriendly. Yeah. And burial takes up a lot of space, as you said, but even more important, it takes an average of 10 years for a coffin to decay. Mm-hmm. And when you cremate a body, the cremation releases about 200 kilos of CO2, which is comparable to the emission from a single flight to Berlin.
Right. It's the same. And also, after you being cremated, you can choose if you want to be in a casket again, or if you want to be in an urn again, and then the most people want to bury it again. And then because you can go there, memorize your loved ones to come to a cemetery piece, square of ground. And it's really weird we do that on this way. And I think, and it's also not our final destination where our body will be in, but also the way of how we do our farewell rituals at the moment. It's in a church or in a cremation.
It's very cold.
Oh, it's really cold. It's not personal. Yeah. It's not loving. It's awkward.
Does that also reflect our Western cultures?
Yeah.
Because if we take a look at Asian or African culture, it's way they celebrate
Yeah,
rather than mourn, right?
You've brought a book.
I brought a book.
Yeah,
with
you brought
me.
a book.
It's called De Dood en het Hiernamaals.
So it's death and beyond.
And beyond, translated.
Yeah.
And this book really inspired me to create something or to transform our Western way of farewell ritual in a ritual we can rememorize and loving our past ones, loved ones, on our personal way.
Because what is it about?
In this book, you read and see a lot of images about every ritual, farewell ritual around the world. And it's really inspiring.
So you've probably heard of funeral undertaker Susanne Duivestein. Do you know her?
Yeah.
What's interesting is that she's paving the way for a new progressive and sustainable sound in the funeral world. And she believes that in bringing back rituals when we die, and that we should part with respect for nature, and it gives us and the person we were more meaning, and it also helps us talk better about death and say goodbye to ourselves, and also for our loved ones. Is that so? Is that important for you as well?
Yeah, I had the same kind of goal, like her, and I think also in the Netherlands we are still so closing our eyes if we are talking about death.
Yeah.
And I think we should open up a bit more and speak together about death and what do you want with your body in the end.
Yeah, because in that book, so what can we learn from other cultures, the way we perceive death?
They are way more celebrating our way of living than being sad that your past loved one is dead. Also, they have remembers days of loving your past ones, but in a more beautiful way. For example, Chinese culture and Japanese culture, they light up a lantern in the ocean and they float all the lanterns together and they remember the past loved one. It's really beautiful. And also you come together and you light up the lantern and it floats away. It's also lots of joy because you think about how the person was in a more happy way than just being sad about it. And of course, it's fine to be sad about it because the person is passed away. But I think if we experiment and learn from different culture and apply that in our own Western culture, we can do something like that.
To make it less heavy, because losing a loved one is tough
already. Of course, it's always tough, but then just...
But why make it tougher?
Yeah, why make it tougher?
And really disconnect to the other.
And all that black and that coffee and the dry cake. I'm so done with that. I'm so done with it. I think
me too.
If I'm gonna die, I really want to celebrate like a party, and then we go to a kroeg in the Netherlands. We call that kroeg, and we get the beer and have fun. And
it's what I always say as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my body will. The celebration will be in a forest, and have some music together, and then I'm buried. And I really want to skip that whole cremation heaviness and all together in that awkward area.
So Lisa, you already gave us a glimpse of how you think about our current funeral system and how we can celebrate it or celebrate death maybe in a different way. And your way is completely sustainable. So how does it work?
My kind of solution of my urn, in 5 years, we can choose for a fourth new option in the Netherlands. And it's called resomation. And that system of kind of way of dissolving our body is also very known in Canada because they do that there for over 10 years now.
Over 10 years already?
Yeah. So, and this system will come in the Netherlands, so that's pretty awesome. And then your body will be dissolving in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Using pressure and something like a chemical solution.
Is it a natural chemical solution?
It's not really a natural solution, because your body has to break down, and that takes a lot of time and pressure to do that. But they can transform it into a natural solution, because in the end, your body exists in two kind of solutions. So the first one is your liquids.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit sounding like Hannibal, Dr. Lecter grows, but it's like your liquids and your leftovers, skin, and anything like that. And they can transform that into compost. And the compost can be used in the ground, on the ground, in parks and whatever. And your other leftovers are your bones.
Yeah, and that's what you get in the, right?
Right. Yeah. So they dry that, and then it's totally a natural source.
Yeah.
Because your bones has lots of nutrients, which are really interesting, because organisms can use the bones to live on. And mycelium can live on nutrients from your bones. So I'm using mycelium, and
what is that, Lisa, for listeners?
Yeah, of course. Mycelium is for all the fungi lovers out here.
But it is?
Mycelium is a fungi network.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about mycelium, it is a life cycle. And it's mycelium is the part that it's the connection of the mushroom.
Living underground.
Living underground, yeah. And that fungi mushroom connection I use is from the well-known oyster mushroom.
Yeah.
And it's a white, kind of fluffy structure. And it's really soft. And also, I think it's just beautiful that it grows in only 7 days. And it's eating nutrients, and it lives on nutrients, and it grows in any form or shape, build molds and products, but the mycelium has his own way of doing. So it grows in a shape what I wanted to do or wanted to have, but it grows always a little bit different. So that means every product is a unique product.
That's beautiful.
And Lisa, can you tell us the link between the mycelium and racemation?
Mycelium can grow on nutrients, and our bones has those nutrients. So if you combine that racemation,
dust
or powder.
What do you become? A powder?
Yeah, we call it more like a powder, because ash is not really a good word, because that's more for cremation. So we call it now a powder, a white powder, combining with mycelium together. I can grow an urn out of it. And before I used hemp to give it more structure, but now I'm trying to get more partners into Dutch waste flows and use the waste flows together with mycelium. And then in 5 years, the racemation as powder, or what you want to call it, to grow the urn in a shape, what we want to become. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, you got the urn, the shape, the verbinding, it's called, but translated life cycle. Yeah. And then you can bring, for example, if I die and I will become something in shape I want to be, my mom can take me home, and she can decide when she wants to bury me. So if you keep it at home, it doesn't decompose. Yeah. But if you put it in the ground, for example, in your own backyard, it will biodegradable in only a year of time. And then, especially if my mom chooses flower seeds, something that, for example, that I will be all over the backyard. I am giving your body back to nature. Yeah. But also the nature use the final destination, the urn, to grow out new life. So that means it's always having that life cycle.
Is this okay if we bury this in our own backyard?
Yeah, it's possible.
That's possible because I know you've researched that topic as well, right?
Yeah. So, of course, you cannot bury your body in your backyard. But if you do cremation or resumation, it's possible to bury your body. It only has to be your backyard, not if you rent a place and you're moving out in a year or something, then it's not really possible.
So how many objects or how big are the objects? Because for the people at home who don't see us, a normal urn is around, let's say, 30 to 40 centimeters high.
Yeah.
But you decided to design smaller objects, right?
I designed smaller objects because it's easier to pick up and to hold. And you can divide your body, the powder you can divide into 5 till 7 smaller objects.
So your project was showcased at the Cube Design Museum in Kerkrade, the Netherlands. And your urn, or this project, was part of the exhibition Redesign Death, that showed contemporary design around saying goodbye, dying, mourning, and remembering. What were the responses of visitors in the museum on your project?
Really different. The most people don't know what mycelium is. So, of course, you need an explanation about what's mycelium and what's our possibilities with bio-based materials. Most people are saying, oh, but we have already bioplastic urns. So why do you want to create something from a fungi? Well, the difference is if you use bioplastic urns, of course, it's better than a metal-based urn. But
marble or
anything, anything like a other dead material, literally dead material. Bioplastic urns is a little bit more of a solution, but it takes also at least 12 years to degrade.
So more than a normal coffin.
Yeah, 12 years. Because, for example, if you buy an urn from probably a designer who has just a few bioplastic urns, they're mostly 100% biodegradable. But from a company, they're using PLA, just plastics, and biomaterials together to create an urn. I've been to a crematoria in Rotterdam, and they sell bioplastic urns made from potato starch. Yeah. But it also has plastic. So in the end, after 12 years, the potato starch is totally gone, but the plastics are still remaining in the ground. So that's
insane, actually.
Weird.
But were there people asking you when you were there at the opening as well, how does it work? Where can I order?
Yeah, of course. But at the moment, I'm still at a more research point. And at the moment, you cannot, we can resumate in 5 years. So that we need a bit more time. So I have 5 years left to bring up this idea to the market.
Because I remember when you were researching this, you were actively involved in the undertaker world, also during your internship here. And I remember you came to us on a Monday morning with photos from the location you have been. Yeah. So you literally have seen how it works. Yeah. From the funeral ceremony to putting ashes in a cardboard urn. So you were actually acting as the fly on the wall.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
It was really fascinating. What have you noticed? What was the catalyzing or the point where you thought, okay, we need to switch 120, 190, how many degrees around to...
The cremating it's a factory. It's always bodies the whole day, 20 minutes on fire, and then you take out, and I will say what I've seen. I thought that will be like ash, but you're taken out like it's all bones. So and they take it to a shredder.
A shredder,
and then I see Emma's face. You will be like shredded into ashes, and it's just
crushed,
a routine.
Right?
It's crushed, and the sound
grinded,
It's also Rotterdam, so they were like, "Oh yeah, let's get coffee," and oh, this one is. This guy has a lot of volume, so I think half an hour, let's get coffee. And of course you have to be thinking like that, because
you have to put it outside of yourself, because it's a tough job, actually.
And it's still their bodies. But I really was like, okay.
You have to really dehumanize someone.
Yeah. It shocked me how it works down there.
Yeah.
And I also thought... that's why I also don't like the whole staying there, of being there, or get the farewell ritual inside of the cremation building.
Mm-hmm.
It's really felt unhuman.
Yeah. And because I'm intrigued that you really went to the undertaker world, that's really interesting to see how is this system working, But how did they react to your mycelium urns? Because it's a traditional, conventional world, and they really don't like change.
Well, they like change that can be like a more natural way of where your body will be laid down. But they don't like the way that they were like, mycelium, fungi, what is it? And that's gross. And why do you want to be in a fungi object like this?
Why am I saying is because it's also a lot cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a lot cheaper than the most normal classical urns and caskets they sell. But I also believe they were open for change, so they're not really closing off. But I don't think they want to sell my urns because they think it's gross.
But you were...
That's interesting, yeah.
Because you were in a small facility here in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
But you also talked to the big guys, so to say.
No.
No?
I have sent them loads of emails and trying to call them, but...
So we're talking about Dela
and stuff, yeah.
Monita.
It's an insurance company for death.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never... I think they never... think I had a serious product, and that's something that hold me back. But
what's needed for you to make them see that you actually have a serious product?
Yeah, I would love if they just open up a bit from the old system ways, and that they can see there's a lot of changing going on right now, that people are really thinking about what to do after they die. And also they shouldn't think that our body is a waste, but is a source of nutrients, and nature can live on us.
So it's an education part.
I think so, and what I need is I would love to collaborate with other designers, funeral companies, engineers, students, fungi lovers, to bring my project from a project to the market.
Because it's really interesting that they don't find grinding bones disgusting, but mycelium urns
gross.
So we just talked about Suzanne, but you also has Bob Hendricks, and you're of course working. There's like this whole new wave of
bio-revolution.
Because it's really interesting, because you can see that designers can play this important role in this educational role. Like rethinking systems.
Yeah,
and the way we are used to how it works.
Yeah.
So how do you see that? Is this helping you in your work?
Yeah, I think especially when Bob came out with his mycelium coffin, I was like, oh my God, I can flow on his ocean a bit because now
he's very successful, right?
Yeah, and we have the same concept but a different final destination. He got a casket and I got an urn or any object you want to imagine, and but we got the same. We are same mycelium addicts or something. So when I heard about it, I was also excited because he was so excited about this new idea, and I was also like, I got the same, but you know. But I hope that funeral companies will be like, oh my God, that's mycelium.
Yeah, and the potential.
And the potential of it, and that they will open up a bit more. To collaborate with designers and also to collaborate with other companies or startups or maybe students to redesign the shape of our final destination.
Because I believe it's not only design, it's also the construct we build in this Western society. It's also opening up with other perceptions of how we die, what our role is on this planet.
It's also a bit of education, and
it's like the Lion King is known for it. You know, the circle of life. It's really interesting. I just replayed the song for this podcast. It sounds really stupid, but Elton John is singing in 1991 about a circular economy. It's like in the second sentence, and it really didn't resonate to me. But of course, the circle of life, I use it many times to explain it to my friends what a circular economy is. But
let's talk about the Lion King.
Talk about the Lion King?
No, but it's nature. It's like human is nature, and it's like it's not only taking but it's giving back. So it's a very natural way that we
bring our
the final destination in our physical form is to give it back to the soil.
Yeah, and I think that's something. But that's what I said before. Most people see our bodies as a waste, and I think. If we see our body as a source, then we can transform our final destination in any way you want, in any way you imagine. And then your body is a source or like a material that other organisms and plants and trees and anything what's living around us growing on your body. I want to give one example. I've seen a few years back. I've seen you all know Hannibal. He has a movie, but also a series.
Hannibal Lecter.
Lecter, Dr. Lecter.
Dr. Lecter, he's a cannibal.
One of these episodes, you see a few bodies laying half in the ground and half above the ground. And mycelium and mushrooms were living on them. Well, it's a cruel scene because the humans were still alive. But when I saw that scene, I was also fascinated by how nature decomposes your body. And also how they grow on you. And that was the first moment I was thinking, that's really interesting. Maybe we can do something.
Was that the whole inspiration for this project? Or did it add to something for you to start this project?
I think it started a bit. I was fascinated by it, but I never thought, I'm gonna create or design urns.
It's very interesting when these commercialized shows actually if they view this, if
they've
make
got
use,
influence.
exactly. I've got one very it's a beautiful. Sorry, we can use this or not, but we've got one example which I think is really brilliant is of Urgenda. And so they were really struggling with the way people are looking at people who work in sustainability. And they bought this personage in Goede Tijden, Slechte Tijden, which is the most watched show in the Netherlands. And soap, yeah, and it's a long time. And he so they bought a personage, and he was gay, working with solar panels and working on an induction cooking plate. So it was, but it's insane. I think on a daily basis, 1.2 million people are looking at that show, and then finally they see, oh, solar energy. Oh, solar can be a source of an energy, and oh, you have to cook electrical, and so it's brilliant what it can do for making something to normalize something.
Yeah, and the average, like a lot of people looking at it from a lot of layers of our society.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Except us.
Yeah.
So Lisa, to ask you one of the final questions of our conversation, if you can pick a favorite biodesigner, architect, scientist, name it, to collaborate with, who would that be?
Yeah, I think maybe TU Delft, because they have a lot of, they have a really interesting program about sustainable in design.
Yeah.
And I think I can collaborate with students because students are also open up. And I think I would love to collaborate with them to get my design better.
Suzanne is actually lecturer of this TU Delft thing,
Oh,
so I will
okay.
give her a number to you. You can call her.
Leuk.
Yeah. Sorry. Back to TU Delft. Why it can help you?
A product that's a real solution and
Yeah.
can go on the market. So that's what I'm looking for right now.
Because you need to go from an idea to implementation.
Yeah.
And I think with the product, you can go to legislation. But first you need to have, it's the kip en ei verhaal.
Yeah. And also now it's a project and some prototypes.
Yeah.
And I really want to create a collection that is changeable for everyone. Personal, but also, I'm working on a collection that's inspired by East Asian farewell rituals. And I think the way of farewell rituals, but also the way of designing the urns or the objects they use. My new collection will be based on that. And I think if I work with students or professors from, for example, TU Delft, I am more the designer of how it should be, and they can more helping me with how it can be useful and how we can use it and how we can make it personal and transforming the new idea into a product what I can bring on the market. And for example, I would love to show it next year at Dutch Design Week, for example.
We all hope that we can show.
And I really want, my goal is to bring it on the market that people can buy their final destination.
You can use my body when I die.
Ooh, I got already a dead list, so yeah.
So thank you so much, Lisa. And it was really an interesting conversation. Also bringing.
Thank you.
I literally had goosebumps at one moment in the with your story.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Definitely bringing in some new perspective.
Yeah.
So good luck. Don't be a stranger.
No.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
This Growcast was hosted by Barbara Vos and Emma van der Leest and produced by BlueCity Lab. This podcast was realized with funding from the municipality of Rotterdam and Creative Industries Fund NL and was edited by Puree Productions. We also want to give a shout out to Nienke Binnendijk, director of BlueCity Lab, and Sabine Biesheuvel, director of BlueCity, and actually everyone else from the BlueCity team for their trust and never-ending support. Until next time.